In the ever-changing evolution of IT that's out there in the world with AI and all the other things that are there, knowing what device to have, how that's managed, and other facilities and features that are out there to help you in your everyday lives from a work perspective is going to be key. And today we're going to go through just a few of some of the devices that can help you along your way. Thank you for joining us. We are going to look at some of the amazing Dell Technologies with Intel education devices, Dell Pro Education. My name is Richie Fontaine. I am from Dell Technologies and I'm here with my colleague.
Hello, my name is John McCardle. I'm also from Dell Technologies.
So we're here really just to go through a few things that we have in terms of products and options that we have from an education point of view. One of which is the recently launched options of the Dell Pro Education devices. These were launched at Bett, which was a good show, I think. It's good fun, yeah. So we've got a couple of options for you. So one of them is this one here, which is the Dell Pro Education 11-inch, of which there is a 2-in-1 option, or you have a normal clamshell option. Great features. It's primarily designed for those lovely children. Insofar as it is robust, it is some elements of ruggedized and mill-grade testing, which means that it's been designed for those arduous situations that kids sometimes get into. So rubberized edges, you've had multiple drop tests on this, so this can be dropped without incident onto a metal surface up to 30 inches without a problem. From a IT perspective, you have the likes of the keyboard that's in this, which is easily replaceable, as is the battery. There's lots of other features around this as well. Gorilla Glass if you've got the 2-in-1. Am I missing anything just on?
World-facing camera.
World-facing camera, well. Thank you. Yeah, we have the world-facing camera on there. And then also the key on this. So if you have kids that want to take the keys off, some do. So we have some odd kids in there. But if you do have some that are like that, it's quite resistive to that sort of attack, for want of a better word. And if you're, from an IT perspective, you're changing the keyboard or you're changing the battery, the screws at the back are captive, so they stay in there once you've unscrewed them. So really, really useful for you. Again, 2 flavors, you have the clamshell or the 2-in-1. But we also have another option, slightly bigger than this 11-inch. Thank you, John. And this one here, which is a 14-inch. Again, this was launched at Bett in January, but it enables you to have a slightly bigger estate in terms of a visual experience. Interestingly enough, the keyboard on the 11-inch and the 14-inch are exactly the same. So if you have to swap them out, it's an easy job to do. Again, it's gone through all the same testing that makes it a robust solution for students and for teachers, but it gives them a slightly bigger display. Anything else you want to add to that, John, that we've had before on these ones?
I mean, the water channels on the keyboard is a huge piece. So students and adults alike will spill stuff on the keyboard. So it doesn't matter if it's a teacher with coffee or a student with water. The motherboard being such a key component, there's water channels built in just under the keyboard. So as the water goes on, you just tilt the device to the side, takes all that water away from the keyboard, away from the motherboard, away from the critical components. So then you've still got a laptop to use.
Amazing.
As opposed to just a really pretty brick.
Yes, which is another good.
With the robustness side of it as well, we'd see students use them as football goals and everything in a backpack and probably frisbees and doorstops. That MIL 810H testing is phenomenal. With the rubberized edges, it bounces. We go through tens of thousands of hinge tests. The drop tests are brilliant as well, and they're just designed for education. We've been working with education for years, and the whole point of us working specifically on these devices is to put devices into the hands of students the students will use and hopefully not break. Some of them might be particularly enterprising, but they are designed to be as robust as possible.
Perfect. The other important thing that I would like to go through, John, is some of the management features that we have on these devices. I think that's quite important for you guys from an IT perspective and how you manage these devices. So, John, can you go through some of the headlines that we have for these devices?
Absolutely. Manageability is such a key thing across the IT estate, because you might have anywhere from 10 to 1,000 to 10,000 devices that you need to manage. BIOS settings is a really big part of this. So if you've got loads of different devices, you might have multiple BIOSes to manage. If you need to update settings, security policies, it's a real challenge for an IT manager to look after. On the Dell devices, you're running an Intel processor across your entire education estate. That's one BIOS to manage as opposed to multiple. That's 448 different BIOS settings you can manage through the free tooling that we offer. So it can either be deployed through SCCM or Intune, whichever one you use, and it doesn't cost anything. Not just that, but the applications that you might use, so things like Dell Safe BIOS, Dell Command Update, the devices that effectively protect, manage, and look after your estate can all be managed through one tool with the Dell Management Portal.
Amazing.
That doesn't cost a penny. And in this world where there's so many different subscription services for ITSM, so many different services people dive into to make their lives easier, for us, it's part of the device package. If you're procuring the devices from us, you should have the tools to manage them. We go even further on the repairability side of things as well. So we've recently released an app that is designed specifically for people to be able to repair the devices. So you can download on Android or iOS. Either one's absolutely fine. And it's an augmented reality app. So effectively, you put in the service tag of the device, which you'll either find on the underneath or in the settings, and it will give you a view on your phone of how to change, replace, and repair the components in those devices. So it changes that conversation from, it took me 2 hours to change the screen, it took me an hour and a half to change the keyboard, down to it took me 5-10 minutes because I've got an app that doesn't cost me a thing that shows me how to go through that process. So that manageability side doesn't just start with how do we keep the software in place, how do we keep it updated, how do we keep this device up to date with everything it needs to be, and it's also how do we keep the devices in the hands of educators and students as much as possible to ensure they can be repaired easily, quickly, safely, and correctly, and it doesn't impact the warranty either. So everything we do around about this is to ensure that there's more uptime for students, more uptime for teachers, because that's what they're doing. They're there to learn, and we want them to spend more time doing that and less time going, my laptop's not working. So if we can repair and keep these working, that's the real drive that we got here.
Perfect, thanks John. So as you can hear, great devices, great options, some great manageability there. And in terms of the actual experience for not only for the teachers, for the pupils, but also for IT, it's going to hopefully give a great solution for your environment and also for managing those devices going along the way for the years that they're used. Thanks for joining us. My name's Richie Fontaine from Dell Technologies.
And my name is John McCardle, also from Dell Technologies. If you want to learn more around about our hardware devices powered by Intel, reach out to ukeducation@dell.com. And if this is your first video that you watch, please stay tuned because we've got videos coming up on Intel software on education as well.